everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Simply Ann. This week I'm going to show you how to make this elegant yet simple card. And this is using some of my favorite papers called the Sunshine and Shadows papers. And here's the inside. So I'm first going to show you some of the tools I used and then we'll get started on the card. A few things I'm going to be showcasing today on the card are the Sunshine and Shadows paper pack. And it has these pretty designs. And there's 6 designs, 12 sheets total, so 2 of each design in the paper pack. And also the Sunny Medallions paper toll. And the package comes with 2 sheets. This is a 3D pyramid set. And they are all die cut, so very easy to use. And finally, the pair of Swirls metal cutting dies, and these will be used in conjunction with the die cutting tool, so that'll be a lot of fun to play with. So out of all my choices on the 3D pyramid paper tool, I'm gonna pick this image right here. So I'm going to go ahead and punch out all of my pieces. Here's the largest piece, and these are so easy to punch out. They practically fall out, as you can kind of see. So I do love that about them. On this sheet, I'm going to maybe use these extra artwork pieces, so I'm also going to go ahead and remove those. And there's usually at least a few extra artwork pieces on each sheet of paper toll from hot off the press, so that's a nice little bonus. Now on the largest piece here, you might notice there is a piece that comes out of the middle of it, so don't forget to pop that out as well. Now if these little tiny nibs bother you, you can always just trim them off with small scissors and it'll be perfectly smooth. And now you can clearly see how everything will fit perfectly on top of one another. So on the sheet, these are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they'll just be foam taped to match up the images. So here I've cut 2 pieces of paper, each 3 inches wide by 6 inches long, and that's going to fit both of my cutting dies on each one so I can make several different swirls. Alright, so I'm going to move over to my Epic 6, which is a die cutting and embossing and letter pressing machine, and we're going to go from there. So here's my Epic 6, and I've also got the cutting mat, which is the flexible mat that comes with it, and this is the cutting platform, and it says right on here. So the way I arrange all my pieces is on this cutting platform right here. I'm going to first set my 2 cutting dies. Now make sure that the blade side is facing up towards you. You don't want to cut into this platform. Just going to put them right there, and I'm going to place my paper pattern facing down over my cutting dies. Now I'm going to place my cutting mat. It says keep this side up, so that's easy to follow, and place that over top. Now I'm going to feed this through my Epic 6 by just turning my crank here. Okay, now let's see what we've got. Alright, so looks like it cut out pretty nicely. Look at the detail on that swirl. I do like that. Now if some of your cuts don't cut through all the way, you may need an extra maybe sheet of cardstock to go over your cutting mat to make the sandwich a little bit thicker so it presses down a little bit harder. Otherwise, and this is pretty minor, I just had it stuck on a little piece here, you can use a craft knife or X-Acto knife to just help that along to release the die cut. See if you can see a little better here. Very pretty. I love how the pattern goes so nicely with the swirls. Alright, I'm going to cut a few more and then we're going to go back to our card. So I did want to mention that if you do want your swirls to be the opposite of each other, so not identical, but sort of like this, you can put your paper face up and that way you'll get the opposite effect. So I'm going to try that with my paper right here. These metal cutting dies are not exclusively made for the Epic 6. They can be used with all sorts of die cutting machines that have that same rolling mechanism. You'll just have to do a little bit of experimentation to get the right layers and mats, and they act a lot like many other of these type of metal cutting dies, so you should have no problem with any major die cutting machine. Moving on with the card. So I've got my card here and I'm using my largest layer of paper towel just as a placeholder, but I want to kind of arrange some swirls around the bottom here. And I kind of want like a swirly lattice type look. So I'm going to make my swirls kind of go off the card. And to glue these on, if you have a glue pen, that would be most helpful because as you can see they're pretty skinny. But you can use the edge of a glue stick, which is what I have with me here. So just make sure to put this on a piece of scrap paper so you don't get glue all over your cutting mat. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and do some detail gluing and glue these swirls on the card. Now the cool thing about this is that you can use different bits and pieces of the swirls that you glued on to, say you want to use this little swirl, just chop that off and then you can glue it somewhere else on the edge. This is how I've chosen to arrange my pieces, and this piece is going to go right in the center here. Now with all of these little tails on the edges, this is the easiest way to cut them off. Take a ruler and a knife and just cut straight down, or alternatively just take scissors and go snip, snip, snip right along the edge and you get a perfect clean edge. I'm really liking how this is looking so far. Okay, so now I'm going to build my pyramid paper towel with the foam tape layers and let you take a peek at how that will look. So here I've glued my paper towel onto the front of my card and I'm kind of trying to tilt it so that you can see all the different layers. Here you can see how thick it is and it really gives that really cool pyramid look. So the front of my card is nearly complete. I just want to add a little greeting at the base here. For my greeting, I've cut this yellow paper to about 3 inches long by 3/4 of an inch tall, and I'm just gonna hand write a greeting on here. Okay. There we go. So I've glued it onto this paper and I'm just going to use my ruler to slice off that extra black paper. Okay, and then another slice this way. And it's really nice to have a ruler with these straight edges. Now I have a perfectly matted greeting that I'm going to put on this card, probably right about here, and I'm just going to stick that on with foam tape. Okay, so I just added a tiny little delicate bow out of this sheer white ribbon. This comes in the Sunshine and Shadows ribbon set. It's not in the savings bundle for this week, but you can order it separately. And also you might just have some sheer white ribbon on hand, and I'm sure you could find some neutral color to go with this card. Okay, so we're done with the front of the card. Now I'm going to go into the inside, and I'm going to use some more swirls to kind of create a frame. I'm going to leave the center blank for my message, and I might actually use some of my extra artwork. Okay, so the final touch I'm going to do is take this last piece of extra artwork, and since it matches the center of this circle, I'm just going to foam tape that right in the middle, and this is done. I just want to mention that this piece of the yellow and white flourish is about 2.5 inches tall by as wide as the card. And for these swirls, I just trimmed off what I didn't need, and these circles obviously came from the paper towel. So now here you have a nice space to write your greeting, and that's the card for this week. So I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the bundle offer, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching. So the first thing in this week's bundle is the Sunshine and Shadows paper pack. Comes with 12 papers, and there's 6 designs, so you're getting 2 of each. Of course, on the package we give you a scrapbook idea, scrapbook page, and a card idea. And on the back, some more ideas and some matching products, as well as all the paper patterns, which we'll take a look at now. So first we've got the side border with the corner flourish, which, since there's 2 of them, if you wanted to use them as a scrapbook spread, you could put the flourishes in the center, put them on the top and bottom, on the sides. You get the idea. There's also this pretty gray, dark gray with a white dot. An all-over pattern which has some sort of flowers and flourishes all together. We've got another, this is like a tapestry pattern, which is really elegant. One in yellow and white, and this is kind of a smaller pattern, very petite and cute. And another tapestry, so lots of rich designs here, very luxurious looking. We also have the Sunny Medallions 3D paper towel, and this comes in a package back to back. But there are 2 sheets, and they're different. And they are all die cut pieces. And on this sheet you'll notice there's some white diagrams that show you how to put these together. Basically, you foam tape each layer on top of the one that's larger, and they're all numbered, so it's very easy to use. And as you can see here, these are falling out because they are die cut, so they're very easy to pop out. No fussy cutting or anything like that. And finally, we have the Paper Artist cutting dies in pair of swirls. And here's an image of what your final cutouts will look like. And I use these along with the die cutting machine, so they should work with most regular roll through die cutting machines if you use the right mats. So a very fun set here, and I hope you guys enjoy.